Hey, we're back. So I thought I'd make a playoff episode here, kind of review all the stuff that happened. A couple crazy things going on this season. It was quite a wild one. We had Connor Barlow lead the league in points. Really a boy. Absolutely dominant. 130 points almost. He had crazy, crazy, crazy line mates for this game. It was just a really good team in Niagara there. They had 48 wins. If you look at their top lines, right, they got Owen Beck, 13, 17, 13, and then they have the best defense in the league. They have 6 double-digit defensemen, which is insane. I got like one. They got Luca Fantilli, who's Adam Fantilli's older brother, as an overager. And then they got the dominant best defender in the league right now is Isaiah Enright. And then they got a bunch of other guys that are just nice veterans. They got a ton of guys that are 2.5 star and above. This guy is a really good foreign player, 6'4", crazy offensive game. They got Owen Beck, the real guy. Is the second round pick in real life. He just had a crazy season too. He was a really good finisher. And then yeah, as you can see, Luca Fantilli right there is a really good puck handler, some good defensive attributes, pretty good skaters. Yeah, they really killed it this year. And so, anyways, that was Barlow, and then Frasca had a huge season too. Frasca had 63 goals, as you can see, and then the other big time scorer was actually a guy that got injured. If you look, he should be under this assist here somewhere. Dylan Duke. So Dylan Duke only played 51 games, but he had 95 points, 94 points, and was the best player in the league. But unfortunately for him, he had a fractured skull, so it might be a long time injury, which is brutal. But if you look at him, he's just so much better than every other player in this league. His skating is the best in the league. His passing is the best in the league. His getting open and scoring ability is the best in the league. His shots the best in the league. He can hit. He's 15 hitting. He's 210 pounds. So he was just a guy that was good enough for the NHL this season. He came back after scoring over a point a game in the NCAA, which is crazy, and just lit the league on fire. But unfortunately for him, he didn't have a lot of great teammates. If you look at his lines, he's injured now, but he's actually okay. They got a pretty good defense there, but just not a lot of depth, especially at the winger position. So he they were pretty good, but when he got injured, they kind of fell out of it. Anyways, so he had a big year with a big injury. My team was crazy. If you look at my stats, what happened is on was the goalie for the Swedish. I picked him as a goalie for Swedish World Juniors. He was pretty good. It was like one goalie that was a little tad higher ratings than him, but I kind of favored him because he's on my team. So I started him for the whole tournament, and he dominated. You can probably actually see his game logs if you look back for Christmas here, Sweden. So if you look, his save percentage in all the games he starts 926, 909, 933, 1000 shutout, 957, 960, and 943. So I don't know what happened that tournament. He almost stole the gold medal from Canada there with a 943. They won, I think it was like 2-1, and grabbed the gold medal. He was just incredible, incredible. So I don't know why he played so dominantly because he literally had all his best games in that tournament playing against the best players in the world. He probably hasn't had over like a 920 save percentage in like any single game I played this season without him. So that was like a weird outlier. I don't know if that was the case from he had a couple big games right here. But if you look, he kind of got lit up a little bit for playing back. He always kind of rotated 50-50, we just rotated goalies, but the other goalie actually outperformed him pretty good. So next year Sidyok's going to start and Andrun's I figure it'd be realistic because it's not too often that European players play that fifth overage season or fourth overage season in the OHL. They usually go back and play semi-pro in Europe or whatever. So I figure that'll be kind of realistic that he would go play as a his 20-year-old season over back home, and then Sid Yock, the former first-round pick, that'll give him a chance. He's good enough to start as a 19-year-old. He was one of the better goalies in the league this year. He has some nice ratings. He was a former first-rounder, so I'm excited to get. So what we'll do is next year we'll have him, and then we'll sign the nice second-round pick I drafted this year. He'll be the backup, and then he'll start for a couple years after Sid Yock graduates. We'll probably use an OA season on Sid Yock, but maybe not, just because this guy's pretty much the same, just a tad worse than Sid Yock, so might not be worth bringing Sid Yock back. No way. I feel kind of bad because I like Hissio, but he's just not progressing. He's kind of like close to his potentials. He hasn't really progressed in these categories, and I don't think he's quite good enough to be the backup next year over Del Banco or whatever. But also we have this foreign guy who we could use next year. as a second foreign guy in the roster because he's a big 6'5" guy that could develop really well for a couple years and be the kind of the tandem mate for Del Bonco for like 3 or 4 years. But he's 17 now, so he'll be in his 18-year-old season. I don't know though. I don't know if he's quite good enough to maybe ever be rosterable. Waste one of those foreign spots on, just because the younger goalie I have is better, and he's not really any better than Hissu, who's 1 year older too. So a lot of interesting decisions based on who progresses. But I think for sure next season, Sideyock will be the starter there, and then Del Blanco will probably be the backup. But there's a small chance that I go with Huso's backup, and then have Del Bianco's play one more year, and not in the OHL. Kind of develop him a little bit more. It was pretty cool because he was 6'2", 180 when I drafted him, so he's already gained about 40 pounds already. And then the one other piece of bad news is Shreddle here is out for the playoffs. His career, unfortunately, he had a huge, hit 47 points, logged 23 minutes a game, had a plus minus of 30. Just had a brilliant career. Huge loss there. So we're going to be a little bit thin on defense because we also had another starting defender, 16-year-old, 6'6". He was 6'5", 170 when I drafted him. So just this year alone, he's gained an inch and 30 pounds, which is really cool. He's going to have a big future. Hopefully he grows to like 6'6", like 230. He's a big physical defenseman for his last few years. So I'm kind of weak on defense, so he not quite the greatest, but he was a little bit better than Clark. So he actually started there, but Clark's pretty much the same type. Same overall. He's a really good 17-year-old too. I like his game. He's more of an offensive guy. So those two will be nice to have back next year, and Trotter will be the number 1 lefty next year. Like a nice 9 or 10 rate overall. Good positioning. Just a nice, solid, steady veteran. And then on the right side, we're going to have a couple guys. Declan Ryan will probably be the OA next season. He's a big offensive guy, so he'll be a nice number 1 offensive defenseman. 6'4", 220. And then Carlson Bianchini. I'm probably going to draft a defenseman in the first round too. Hopefully a right-hand shot. I got a ton of young wingers and a ton of young centers, so I think this year we're going to definitely target defense in the draft. Probably get 2 of them pretty high. I just signed Packard here. He's the guy that's going to start next year on the wing. He played his whole season this year, and midget there is major midget. So anyways, go back to the playoffs. We won the first game against Oshawa. Oshawa was a terrifying. They're the number 1 seed. I'm the number 4 seed. We're in the second round. 1, 2, 3, and 4 all won, so I had to play the number 1 seed. So Oshawa's 53-win team. They got a pretty nasty roster. Harrison had 1 less goal than Frasca. It's 62 on the season. And they got a wicked winger, Tobias, and a lot of depth. Their 4th-line wingers of 14. So that team was really good in the regular season. They beat me a ton. So this is going to be a really tough playoff series. They're a little bit better than me, I think. But we do have a couple dominant forwards, and that always kind of makes a big difference in junior. Got Del Monte and Frasca, so never really say never, right? So let's sim this game, see what happens. I'm going to go with, last game we went with Sidyok. We're going to go with Arndren, the Swedish goalie this game, and see what happens. He's a pretty clutch player, as he showed in the World Juniors. And I won game 2 in overtime. Let's go. Nice. That was the... Oh, this guy's gained a ton of weight. I don't know if you guys remember. Drafted him at 174 at the start of the season. He's progressed all the way to 205, which is really cool. It's been the 4th line left winger all season. Taught him left wing. Taught him right wing during the whole season. I just been back left wing for the playoffs. But he's going to be able to play both sides his whole career, which is pretty cool. He's a really good player. So, let's see what happened here. Frasca, 2 goals again. What a beast. Harrison, that was the guy that scored 62. Those guys are just going toe-to-toe even in the playoffs here. Frasca with 2 goals. Power play goals. Zarg and Delmonte set him up. And then in overtime, the 16-year-old first-round pick, Christoph Kellerman, wins it. What a massive goal for him. That's awesome. So it's the second line there scoring. Sorry, he's on the third line. Sorry, the third line, yeah. Pearson's a Swedish center. So that's pretty cool. Had Frasca had 9 shots on goal. Delmonte had 7. Big guns getting a lot of shots on goal there, which is good to see. Definitely won the face-off battles, especially Delmonte. That's pretty cool. So anyways, that's a really good game. Andren had a big game, 920 save percentage. And so we're going to go back to him. 5-star Heat now, which is wicked. Oh, that was a big win. 2-0 in the series is huge. That's a big win. Let's see what happens here. Game 3. Boom. Let's see. Oh, what a win. 3-0. 5-4 win. Oh, that's unbelievable. Oshawa choking. So Baker, the guy we just talked about, the fourth liner, was first start of the game. So Del Monte had a big power play goal, assisted by Frasca. And then the number 1D, Declan Ride, had a big goal. And then we got Kellerman, hero from last game. And then the young Baker scores the winner with the third period there, assisted by the 17-year-old defenseman there, Clark, too. And that's pretty cool to see. What a game. Frasca held off the goal sheet there. Got an assist, though, Del Monte goal. And Sidejack had a big game. So we'll go back to him now. Everyone else is healthy, it looks like. Forrester's really tired compared to everyone else for whatever reason. He plays quite a few minutes, but that's fine. He's still at 80%. Oh, yeah, there's a day to rest anyways. He'll be at 100. All right, let's see if we can sweep Oshawa at the end of this video. I don't want to make it too long. Oh, this is exciting. 3-0. That's massive. All right. And can we pull off the sweep? We do! Wow, Oshawa goes down, the number 1 seed in the East. What happened? 6-1. Frasca with 4 points. Andre with a massive game, 96% save percentage. Whew! Frasca has 6 goals in playoffs already, which is pretty cool. 2 rounds. Harrison goes down. Kellerman, another goal. He's really stepping up. I'll show you him. That's the first round pick. He was 6 foot, 80 when we drafted him, so he's gained a pound and 15 or so pounds. Progressed pretty nicely. Also taught him the right wing. He starts a left winger, so trying to get all those young wingers able to play both sides, which is huge when you're moving them around late in their careers on the power play units and stuff. So it was really clutch Piercy being able to play both wingers because he plays left wing normally, and then the power plays he's like a right winger. Forrester moves to the point, so he can do some kind of moving around, which is fun. Oh, what a game. Piercy, 2 massive third period goals there, both on the power play. What a game. So, rotating goalies worked. Swept Oshawa. Whew. That was pretty cool. So, anyways, that'll be it for this video. The next video, we'll see probably some, see if we can win the next round. Be playing the winner of Hamilton, and I forget the second team. Niagara, probably. Yeah, playing the winner of Hamilton, Niagara, so that'll be kind of hard. Either team, both really good teams. I think, let's see here. Yeah, so Niagara was the team I showed you already with a loaded roster, and then Hamilton. Oh, that was the last thing I want to show you. That's pretty crazy. Seamus Casey, who was a top 5 pick in the NHL, first overall pick of the draft a couple years ago in the OHL, the American, real dude. Look at the season he had. 32 goals as a defenseman. Unfreaking believable. Never seen anything like that from a defenseman. Probably the all-time record in the OHL. It's just insane. He was crazy. So I think they have him as a point shooter, so that's good to know. He scored a lot of goals like that. Just a really good setup. Like his line mate was a stay-at-home defenseman, 6'2", 220, 15 rated, Jenkins there. And then they got really dominant center Ryan Winterton, who is first round pick in real life. Just a wicked player. And then they got I don't know who this is. Oh, this is kind of one of those glitches. There's some problem in the first year. All those WHL guys somehow ended up in the OHL. They all got released for some reason, and then all these OHL teams picked them up in free agency. So there's a ton of these like really good WHL guys floating around the OHL for some reason. So that was they got that in the left wing as a 17 rated. So 17, 19, and then 19, all in that power play unit. That's pretty scary. So that's why they were so good this season. So anyways, we'll see next round. That's it for this video.